then you could learn. But finding that grading rule is hard.
If you are a technical only person, sometimes you're focusing on the moment, but you don't get a sense of the whole.
No.
And I think it's important to know how to create the moment and in the context of the whole.
Yeah.
You know, so it will flow when you put all those moments together.
Exactly.
Very important.
Your movement could mean a lot different.
And you were talking about opportunities for people. I was talking yesterday about Fede Alvarez, who made that 5-minute short subject called Panic Attack. It was about these giant robots attacking Montevideo. He's a guy in South America, and he did all this on his computer, and it got quite a big reception, and he got directing gigs out there.
Right.
And he did a really great job on it. If anybody's ever curious, it's called, again, Panic Attack. You can look at it up on YouTube. It's really a fun little 5-minute film. Okay, let me throw it open to everybody here. Yes, ma'am.
So, my son is 11 years old. He's gotten into filmmaking. He's been in acting since he was 3, but now he wants to film. And he has a project that he wants to film next. But he wanted to integrate a few visual effects and animation and live action. But now we're hearing that it's really a long process, primarily because the type of movie that he wants to film is about his concussion. So he didn't want anybody to get hurt filming live action, so he was thinking about
Animation, stop motion, claymation, and live action.
So
Each one for each concussion. Yes, had 4 concussions.
That's great.
Well, you approach it on a shot-by-shot basis and find out exactly what sort of effect that you want for each shot, perhaps.
Yes, specifically, you know, like after this, we can just talk, and you can tell me, like, what you think these shots may look like, and then I can tell you,
How to do it.
Yeah, like if you do claymation, like what does that take, or animation? Yeah, if you've never done claymation before, that is a pretty big leap. You have to be in love with molding characters.
I've been using clay for a long time.
Perfect for you. So, yeah, you're one of the rare people that actually. So this is what you learn when you talk to somebody. Like everything is like a very specific thing. Like, what's the image you want? You know, what's your background, and what's the best way to achieve what you want? Yeah.
And do you want it to literally look like a concussion, or do you want to make it a little bit more symbolic of a concussion? You know, it's that sort of question. Do we actually want to feel an impact, or get more of the emotion? You can structure the shot that way creatively.
Which point of view do you want?
Yeah, point of view, the whole deal.
yeah, we even we attended a VR filmmaking seminar as well. And this was thinking about VR and what people can see, what he's feeling and everything. And the angles are different, the scenes are different.
Yeah.
But then he heard about animation, he saw the wonderful films that we just saw. Well, maybe that's the avenue. So I think it's exploring. There's so much in this industry. It's available.
There's some incredible VR films that are there. If you've got the goggles and everything, you know, there's a YouTube VR that you can actually tune in, and people have submitted VR things, and it's really interesting to see what they've done.
Yeah, it's, there are so many options. The problem right now, there's so many options.
Yeah.
That you need to develop a way to get a couple of like images that you think you want to actually produce, and the way something should look specifically for just one image, and it sort of will start guiding everything toward how to get there. And so it is like, is it symbolic? Is it like you don't even actually see any physical thing happen at the moment, and you're cutting to afterwards or something like that. So there's a bunch of choices, but yeah, we could talk afterwards.
Definitely symbolic.
Yeah.
You can even do some relatively easy effects, like if you had the impact and you had the guy go away from it, and then you reversed it. at a higher speed, then bam, this, instead of putting anybody in danger, you start here, have them back away, and then play it reverse double speed and do it that way. And then you, right at the frame of impact, you go to black or something. I don't know, there's a lot of creative possibilities right there.
None of mine related to sports, which is funny.
Let's go with that visual echo.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do.
Yeah, I would say do it, that's a good idea to do it, just make sure that there's this way versus starting from here, there's also the motion's a little bit different, depends on how you want, yeah.
Anytime there's an impact, it's nice to do it in reverse. That makes me good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Other questions? Yes?
Hi, I'm Lars Maker from Germany. I'm a director, and I wanted to ask you both, what do you love?
Last, stand up.
Stand up?
Yes, stand up.
Oh,
I'm sorry, this like the interview.
but you heard me, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you love about your job? That's my question. And sit down, right?
Well, what I love about my job is actually tell a story that somehow connect to the people who are watching it, and to strangers that I never met and never will, and saying, oh, you really make me cry and you really make me laugh, because that's what I think as a filmmaker, that what we all try to do is to just make, doesn't matter how big it is, even a tiny bit of an impact on some other people's life with our story. Whether to make them think, or to make them debate, or to make them questioning, or to make them simply just entertaining. It's what I feel the magic of filmmaking, and that kind of something keeps me wanting to do more and more. It's always just, so every time when I want to do movies, I always say, oh, what would other people think? And it's just it's just kind of a magic when, when you're, when you feel the audience reaction to your work, like how did that happen? It's just, then the other thing also I would add to what I love about what I do is physical shooting on the set, working with actors, especially being a director. That transformation of what an actor can do with the words on a piece of paper, a character on a piece of paper, and bring that to life. And I'm a sucker for tears, so I even cry on my own set. If my actor gives me a good performance, I cry before they do. It's just so powerful, I think, in watching that's just like, it's like, it's no longer you. You become that character I imagine in my head. So that's what I love about being a director.
Yeah, my experience is a lot different. For instance, I don't get to really interact with actors, except on a technical level. I'm going up and like moving their wardrobe around or doing something like that. So they just know me as somebody that sort of interferes with their performance. Yeah, this magic of emotion with an actor is completely foreign to me. So what I enjoy is pre-production. And one of the things I like about it is like unlimited imagination. And it is a point where the director sort of makes this vision that is sort of boundless. And money's not an issue at that point. And you're working with a group of concept artists, something like that. And frequently it's the best people you can find like anywhere. Even when I work on Chinese movies, they're just fantastic concept people in China that really can compete with anybody in LA. So you just see some fantastic things that you would never see before. And this is, you would have to say, like museum quality images that are spectacular. So that part is really fun, and you can do a leap in your mind about like, what if this film was actually made. Sad thing is, as you get closer to the start date of the film, these ideas have to be peeled away, and things have to be reduced into a budget. And so, in the back of your mind, you know what this vision was. And then there's the start of filming day when everything is actually greenlit, and this is the film that you're going to shoot. And that's why pre-production is really, it takes you on a mental and visual journey that's pretty cool. The other part of it that I do like is working with live action crew. There's just this energy. You're working with a group of people. Things are constantly changing. There's you have a certain amount of hours in the day, and this is the way visual effects used to be, because I was involved with, I came from camera. So you have a certain amount of hours you have to work to get these shots done, and you're working with a very, in that case, very tiny group of people. And at the end of the day, you have something to show for it. You have a completed shot, or you've got disaster. You got something. And right now, the way it works in visual effects is you sort of oversee a large group of people, and everything's being updated constantly. So it's really hard to say that, oh, this shot is done until the director says, okay, months from now. So the day-to-day feedback is sort of missing. There is a different kind of interaction with people, but it's not as intense. And it isn't based upon, like, we got to finish this by 8 o'clock tonight, or something bad happens. It just, usually, until it becomes delivery date. And then the live action part is, there is an energy where you're working with a large group of people, which could be 100 people on set or something. And it's, it has its own sort of life to it. That's pretty nice too.
So you get a charge out of a beautifully executed finished effect shot?
Yes, I do.
There's a certain pride there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and there's a pride when you look at the entire film for the first time, where it's cut together. This is what they're going to show to people, and then you can like sort of look at it with a little bit of distance, and you vote in your head where this sits in sort of your own pantheon of work, and hopefully there's something that's worthwhile in there.
More questions? Yes, sir.
COVID has had a very significant effect on society in general. Have you seen any permanent effect that it would have in the motion industry, motion pictures?
Well, it's hastened this move to try to work on these LED virtual stages, because you can work with a smaller group of people in many cases. And it's also hastened, at least in the visual effects world, remote work.
Editing as well?
Yeah, and so the media, and I'm not sure why this is, but the media pretends to portray working remotely as this liberating thing for people, and I have to disagree because I miss the interaction that you get, and the immediacy, and the amount of iterations you can have in a very simple conversation. When somebody's sitting right there, you can move something forward that would take days, and you can have just little tiny conversation, and just get to the bottom of whatever it is. I find like the Zoom and Slacks and all that stuff that you have to deal with, they are very useful, and they can be lifesavers in certain areas, but I still really miss personal interaction.
Additional questions?
Do you ever get called in post-production?
What's that?
Do you ever get calls to fix up during post-production?
Oh yeah, well yeah, my job goes all the way. My job goes all the way to the final delivery, and so even it gets pretty tight at the end because you can't change the frame count even because of the sound as well, and stuff like that. There are shows that are been brought in on just to work on post, and everything is like that shot. It's not as much fun.
I was interested in how you could affect lighting later digitally. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So it is getting pretty sophisticated that way to be able to change colors in certain areas. But a lot of that deals with once it gets really sophisticated. To take something that was just shot in 2D and to start doing like three-dimensional lighting on it, you have to put CG characters in place of the actors and and match them. And you have to start rotoing everything. Rotoing is hand painting out things. It's hand painting out hair, individual pieces of hair. So you can imagine a lot of these scenes when they whoever they are says that we have to go as far as relighting the character. It is all hands on deck, and it could be months of work to do something like that.
Now, one development that's come along in the last couple of years is really fascinating, and it was for colorist work, for color correction, is that you could isolate a character from the background, no green screen or anything, and then change the color on just them. Now, heretofore, you had to trace and put a box here and a circle here in order to just